Welcome to another episode of the Word to Be Heard podcast. I'm your host, Mario Johnson. And this evening, I got a very special treat. One of my homies from back in Troy, doing big things. The very gifted, very talented former track star, but now she does track in a different way. She kind of lays tracks now in a lyrical way. So I like to call her lyrical genius, Miss Aubrey West. Welcome her to the show. What's up?
Hi, thank you so much. Such a nice introduction. And I'm just excited to be here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for agreeing to come on, man. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but um, logistics. It's all about logistics, trying to get the logistics together. I
Mhm.
just moved into a new house and, anyway, excuses are tools of the confidence. So I'm not going to hide behind them right now. So what's been up,
But
man? So how
I
you been?
think
Go
you
ahead.
said, what was that?
I was finna ask how you been, but go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say timing is everything. I think everything aligns for a reason, and right now is the perfect time. It could have happened a little while ago, but right now it all worked out perfectly.
Dope.
So I'm doing well. Um, yeah, it's been a long time though. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. Like it has been a long time from my days at Troy. A lot of people don't know, but we all went to Troy University together. We actually met in Biology One lab.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and he helped me out so much.
Yeah, let's see. I try to keep the nerd part secret. Like a lot of people don't know I was a nerd, but
Yes.
that's what's up. But yeah, man. So how you been? Like before we really jump into it, just how you been, man?
I have been good. I've been very inspired lately. Um, Actually, like a couple weeks ago, I had a lot going on. My grandmother actually just passed away.
Oh,
But for the most part, it's been keeping me motivated to keep going and, stay in good spirits. So I'm doing well.
oh man. Well, I'm sorry to hear about that. We'll connect afterwards, and if I can help out with anything, I know it's kind of well after the fact, but if I can help out with anything, definitely let me know. Okay.
Thank you. I
No doubt.
appreciate that.
No doubt. No doubt. So from the track to the track, that's what I'm calling this particular episode. From the
Yeah.
track to the track. What kind of inspired that transition? Like what led you from going from, being an actual athlete, like a D1 level athlete. Keep in mind she ran track at Troy
Mhm.
University, a Division 1 athlete, to going, gearing more towards the music side, more towards the creative side. Like what was the inspiration behind that?
So, to be completely honest with you, it was never like just a transition from one thing to another. So a lot of people don't know this, and I'm not gonna tell them because if they like searched really, really hard, they could find some really old music. But I've been releasing music online since like 2011.
Seriously.
Um, yes, I have videos on there from when I was like 14 years old. They're terrible, but that's when it really started. And I think a lot of my inspiration came from my dad. So like my dad was a D1 college track athlete as well.
Okay,
And
following in
he
dad's
also,
footsteps.
yeah, so he also made music. And I was raised by my father and my grandmother. So I was always like around, either he's working out or he's making music. And I got to, be in that environment. That's what I grew up knowing was sports and music. So I've always had both of those elements inside, but I felt like each I guess each element kind of deserved its own time.
Hmm.
So whenever I was focused on track, I just kind of kept that, my main priority. And then whenever that time expired, then I told myself I knew I wanted to focus on music. So I've always had those two elements, just kind of like gave them their own time, I guess.
That's dope. That's dope. I never knew that you basically come from an athletic back, like an actual, you was raised in sports as well as music. So it all kind of ties together. That's pretty dope right there.
It makes sense, right? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just always been in my dad's footsteps, always wanted to be like him, always wanted to do what he did. And I just got lucky because I actually fell in love with those things. It wasn't like my
Mhm.
parents pressured me to do anything or expected me to be a certain way. It's just things that I genuinely loved. And it was cool to share that passion, with somebody so close to me.
Mhm. I feel that. I feel that. So I'm gonna segue real quick. What you doing in the skating rink? What were you doing in the skating rink, Miss Aubrey West? What is that all about?
So I was there for moral support. So my best friend, she really wants to get into skating.
Mhm.
And I grew up in this skating rink, like, in middle school, going skating every Friday night type thing. But I can't skate very well. And so I was there for support, for moral support, right?
Mhm.
But when I tell you that was the first time I'd ever got to experience the actual skate culture,
Yeah, like the whole
I
vibe.
was, yes, I loved it. I was so entertained. I might have been sitting my butt down the whole time, but it was a whole show and I was just blown away. I was very impressed.
Nice. Like when I'm rolling around doing my thing because even from Troy, people knew that I was really into skating, and I just hear Mario, and I turn
I
around
was
like,
like,
yo, talk about a
I couldn't believe my
surprise.
eyes.
Yeah,
I really couldn't.
and in all places because I didn't know you had moved. Like I didn't know you were
Mhm.
here for the most part. I thought you were still in Alabama. So and aren't you from like Panama or something somewhere in that area?
I'm from North Florida, so it's
Mhm.
like 45 minutes away from Panama.
Okay.
It's called Niceville, Florida. A lot of people don't really know about it, but it's like right next to Destin, Florida.
Mhm.
Right outside of Alabama too. It was like 45 minutes from Alabama, so
Mhm.
super North Florida.
Right. And like I said, I was sitting there like, what the hell are you doing here?
You know what? Funny
Mhm.
story. So towards this was my junior year at Troy, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, I just knew I needed some type of change. I didn't know what it looked like, or what that change was going to be, but I knew that the environment that I was in that moment just wasn't for me.
Mhm.
I felt like at that time I wasn't growing. I was sad. I was super unmotivated. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do something spontaneous, right? So I started applying to all these other colleges. Um, and the University of Central Florida was like the first one to accept me. And it was like I needed a split decision because in the next couple months the semester was going to be over and I needed to take those next steps.
Right.
So UCF first hit me up and was like, "Oh, you're accepted, whatever." And then the exercise science program, my credits transferred pretty smoothly.
Mhm.
And so I was like, you know what, I'm doing it. And I packed up my car and I drove from Troy. I did stop at home to tell my family I loved them. And then I came straight to Orlando. And I've made this my home ever since.
Nice, man. Well, I'm glad Orlando welcomed you with open arms. Believe it or not, I
And
moved to Orlando in '99. Um,
okay.
right. So I've been, a Floridian for a while, and I came from Mobile. I was from Mobile, Alabama.
Oh,
Yeah. So it was kind of the same
nice.
situation. I was chasing basketball.
Mhm.
All guys who grew up in my neighborhood had the hoop dreams. You either wanted to play football, you had to play basketball. So I had the hoop dream, chasing basketball. Got the opportunity to go to Orlando to play a couple of pro am teams and things like that. And
Mhm.
like you, spontaneous, just on a whim, made the decision. Got the call from a couple of trainers, and it's like, hey, we love to have you come down. And jumped in the car. I mean, my stepdad was real supportive, but he jumped in the car, and boom, been in Orlando. Never looked back. And I think like probably about 3, 4 months later, he was moving the family to Orlando. He was like, "We're not going back home."
That's what I'm trying to do with mine.
Mhm.
I'm like trying to persuade my dad, my mom, everybody. I'm like, look. you guys would be so much happier here. Like, of course, they love North Florida and
Mm-hmm.
that's what they know, but like Orlando's like a breath of fresh air.
It
It
really
really
is.
is.
It is. It really. I agree with that. It really is. I
Mhm.
mean, I'll be honest with you. It saves my family's life. Like my brothers, I'm the oldest, but my youngest brother and my brother right next to me, um, they were headed down the wrong direction. As we say from
Mhm.
back then, running with the wrong crowd. They were destined for something that was not good in their near future. And going to Orlando completely changed all of that. It opened up the entire world for them, and they've been doing great ever since. So,
That's
if
so
you need
good.
anybody to back you on trying to convince your family to, to make that
I'm trying
move,
to
let
get
me know.
everybody here. I'm
Yeah.
like, come on, come on. So my mom's like super on board with it. She's like, all right, as soon as your dad gives me the green light, we're coming. But my dad, he's very cautious and
Hmm.
careful. And he's like,
Hmm.
I've got work here. And I'm like, you can do whatever you want in Orlando. Like,
You really can.
but
Yeah.
yeah. But it's hard to convince him if he's never like got to experience this before.
Hmm.
So, but I'm like, Dad, come on, like let's just do it. So hopefully, I'll give him like 2 more years.
We'll
If he
see.
doesn't
We'll
budge,
see.
I'm just have to buy him a house one day.
Like I said,
Maybe.
if you need an extra champion for it to kind of back your claims, just let me know.
Mm.
Hell, he can come down and stay the weekend at the house, and I'll take him all around Tampa. I'll take him around Orlando. I'll give him the whole
Oh,
experience.
he would love that. He would love that,
Nice.
honestly.
Well, not to segue too far off, because I'm big for going down rabbit holes, and I have to always kind of bring myself back in. What I saw you had dropped, going back to the music thing. I saw not too long ago, what was it, like a week ago? You just dropped a new release, a new single. Yeah,
Yes,
give us a low on
yes,
that.
it
What's
was
up with that?
winning. So, okay, little short story. When I first moved to Orlando, I knew, I was making music. I was dropping music before I had got here. But I went to the show just to like check out the creative scene,
Mhm.
and there was this artist on stage and by the name of Truly Deaf, and he's the other artist in Winning, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, he's so dope, like he's so cool, whatever, whatever. And here we are 2 years later. We've been together for 2 years. We make music together. We shoot, we create together. It's
Mhm.
an amazing relationship that we have because we're able to both chase our dreams at the same time and
Mhm.
complement each other very well. So it's me and him. Um, and the song is just about, winning, whatever that looks like to somebody.
Mhm.
So like my definition of winning may be or success may be different than someone else's. But it's just all about winning in the way that you see fit.
Hmm. That's dope, because I agree with you on that. Like, my definition of success doesn't have a monetary value placed on it. It's
Mhm.
basically accomplishing the goals that you set for yourself.
Exactly. See, I love that. And that's kind of like how the song goes. So like in the song, my definition was just making my family proud and
Mhm.
people listening to my music and selling out shows. Like that was winning to me. But even then, I think it's also really important to appreciate the small wins. So like even if I just gained a couple listeners tonight, that's a win for me.
Mhm.
It's little things. You gotta appreciate the little things so that when the big things come, it's like, man, like you gotta enjoy the process, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm definitely going to do everything I can to ensure that you gain some more listeners. Matter of fact, go ahead and do like a shameless plug for it. Like, where can people find it? What's all the info on it?
So winning is on all streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, the videos on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram. The videos on Instagram at Aubwest, AUBWEST. Yeah, so I got a couple projects out. My last project that actually dropped was called Johnson Street. I dropped that back in 2020, mid 2020. So yeah, you guys can stream all that.
Nice, dope. That's what's up. Um, now, what's it like being in that industry? Especially, I mean, I don't know. I've never been in the industry before, so I have no clue. I have cousins that were in the industry. I don't
Mhm.
know if you. I'm finna tell even more how old I am. My two cousins are Red and Mark from the group Another Bad Creation, ABC. Um,
Okay.
yeah, yeah, long time ago. Back in the playground in Aisha days, long, long, long time ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had a little bit of exposure to it because
Mhm.
they came up with Boys to Men, and they were I think their managers was like Michael Bivins and Kevin DeVoe. They were a part of that whole conglomerate family. But
Mhm.
from your experience, and I want to say you've kind of been blessed that you are able to do this with someone, with a partner. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But like,
Oh, yeah.
what is it like? Like, the shows, the everything that's involved, like being on stage. Like, give us a quick glimpse into that experience.
Okay. So the shows, super fun. My nerves, they get a little, crazy sometimes. But when I'm on stage, it's like there's no turning back. You're up here. What are you gonna look like? Because you're nervous
Yeah.
and you run off the stage. No, like you're up there, but it feels good. And then what's also super rewarding, because there's times where I feel like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I hope people can't tell. And then after the show, everyone's like, "You're so dope." Is it? And it's like confirmation, like, man, I'm supposed to be doing this. And like,
Mhm.
I love it. Other people love it. It's impacting other people's lives. And that is the best part about it. Um, I think my favorite part of the process is probably the songwriting process,
Mhm.
just because there are at times where I'm not great at expressing myself in conversation, or sometimes I just can't find the words that I want to say
Mhm.
to express the way I feel. And so music does that for me. So it's my favorite. And it's good right now because I'm an independent artist. So
Mhm.
I don't necessarily have to answer to anybody, or I don't have somebody saying, wear this and write a song about this. And because I'm not good at that. I'm not good at people telling me what to do when it comes to something that's, what I
Yeah,
love.
I remember. I remember
So
them Troy days. She was quite the rebel. Yeah.
like nobody telling me what to do, period. But especially when it comes to something that like I'm passionate about, I like to do things my way. And I know that, there at times I do have to take direction, and a lot of the direction that I am given is great.
Mm.
But I know once things elevate to a certain level, there's going to be a lot of people who want to have some type of control or hand on what, and not just me, but like what other artists are doing.
Yeah.
And that's the scary part about it. So, yeah, I'm independent right now, so I'm having fun with it. And I pray that I continue to love it and have fun with it. I'm sure I will. But I just gotta make sure my circle's really tight and I
Mhm.
do this the right way. You know what I mean? Because it's so easy for somebody to say, oh, here's a half a mil, signing bonus, but let's control everything that you do now. So it's like, okay, do I want to feed the fam and take care of myself and live the life that I dreamt of? Or do I want to continue loving something I'm so passionate about?
Mhm.
But maybe, not have those type of funds, and maybe it'd be a little bit harder because it's coming out of my own pocket. But I think that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Oh, well, that's good. That's really good because of the fact, like you said, the biggest thing is remaining in control. Not having to
Hmm.
answer anybody. You can do things on your own schedule. If you're not feeling
Yeah.
it today, you don't have to do it today. Versus,
Mhm.
people expecting you to have something done today, so you have no choice but to do it today. So it's not going to be your best work. You know.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I
Mhm.
rock with that. I respect that. I appreciate that. Please, please, please. stay in a position to where you continue to love what you're doing and you're enjoying what you're doing. Because
Mhm.
when those two things go away, it'll reflect. People can tell.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm sure there's times where somebody's heard their favorite artist and it's like, man, something's up. This is different, you
Hmm.
know? And that's like my biggest fear. That is my biggest fear for just me not to be happy with it anymore. And I can't see that happening because it's been, something I've
Hmm.
grown up with, something I'm passionate about and I love, and I'm good at it, I would say. So, that is just, you got to be careful for all my artists out there. Read those contracts thoroughly. Don't sign anything until you get a lawyer or somebody to break that mess down to you, because there's a lot of times where things look good. Maybe you didn't read it thoroughly, but you sign your name right there, and
Hmm.
then, your music belongs to someone else and you didn't even realize it.
Exactly, and not just. I'm gonna throw my little. I don't even call it 2 cents. My little fraction of a penny in there. Not just any lawyer look over it. Make sure you have a lawyer that you have a personal relationship with, that you trust, because they
Yes.
can refer a lawyer, but that's somebody who works for them. Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, if it's anything
That's
that
important.
very, very much so. Anything you don't understand, anything that doesn't make sense to you, make sure you got somebody that you went out and researched, that you went out and found, that's going to give you the absolute truth of what's going on. Because we hear stories
Mhm.
all the time. People who have to go back and try to fight for their own music, like they have to fight for the ownership of their own
Mhm.
music. It's sad. It's really sad, and I think that's where the love goes away. That's where the passion gets sucked out of
Yeah.
them because they don't own it. And I think that Prince is a great example. He had to literally fight to get his
Mhm.
name, like to get his own. Which way when he changed his
Mhm.
name,
Yeah.
yeah, he had to change his name to produce music because they owned his name. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is insane because it's like there's labels that can own your likeness, I think is
Hmm.
what it's called. So
Yeah.
anything that your name is related to, they own. And it's like,
Hmm.
that's my name. That's crazy.
Yo, like, and it's not related to music, but just overall to show how bad the industry can be. Dave Chappelle, perfect recent example.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he had to stage a boycott in order to get them to
Was
agree
that
to
Netflix,
stage.
right?
Yeah, he went through Netflix. It was Comedy Central that he had the issue with. They didn't want to pay
Mm.
him for the
Okay.
Chappelle show, so he had to. Thankfully, Netflix stepped up and supported him
Okay.
versus supporting the network. But yeah, that's what it all boiled down to. Like he literally had to
Mhm.
fight for his own name, and that's sad. So I'm glad you have that insight. I'm glad you have that knowledge, so you don't
Mhm.
get taken advantage of like that. So that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Now, do you
Yeah,
have?
as artists,
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, as artists, we do have to do our own research
Hmm.
and talk to other artists that might be in similar positions or have experienced something like that. Like, don't do anything that you don't feel comfortable doing. I'm all about taking risks, but not when it comes to this. So be careful, read those contracts, and just be patient.
Dope. That's dope. Now, have you run into any issues with other artists? Like maybe people feeling as though you're in a position that they should be in. Like any animosity that you've discovered from maybe some friends that you're affiliated with that were potential artists or anything like that.
I can genuinely say that a lot of people, even that I came up doing music with,
Hmm.
they show me a lot of love.
That's good.
I've never experienced any ill feelings, or like, yeah, like I've never had to experience that. Um, Ever. When I was younger, so let me tell you, when I was dropping music in 2011,
Uh-huh.
I was a freshman in high school, I believe, or sophomore in high school, something like that. And these guys made a diss song about me. and released
What?
it. Like it was like this rap battle, and I'm still cool with them till this day because it was no hard feelings or anything like that. But we like they would make diss songs about my music. And I'm like, dang, like my music wasn't that bad. So yeah, diss songs would drop about me all the time.
Mm. Well, at least you got to
But
experience it early on, so you know how to deal with it when you blow up, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's like, what would have happened if I would have let some little dudes this song get to me and I'd be like, oh man, I'm not making music anymore. Like, no, you know what I did? I dropped more music and more music and more music. And so, and like it was to the point. So one of the guys that made a diss song about me was on the football team.
Mm.
And um their football coach ended up reaching out to me and was like, yo, Aubrey, do you want to write a song for our football team, like to I guess play at the games or something? And I'm like, sure. So
Mm.
you know it ate them up. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say that's like the biggest fu, you know what I'm saying, ever. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah, the
dope.
coach was like, "Yeah, you should give us a school team song or something." And of course, I'm like, "I really don't feel like doing that, but just to get back at these people,
Right.
I might do it."
That's
So
cool, man.
yeah, so but no crazy, no crazy, animosity towards me or anything like that. And what's
Mm.
cool actually is some of the people that I did grow up doing music with, they're still doing music to this day as well. And things are looking great for them as well.
Mm.
So it's really cool to see experience that, and just kind of reflect where we came from, making little songs in high school and stuff, and then now opening up for some of the biggest artists and
Mhm.
releasing dope music. So it's real cool.
That's dope. That's dope. And it also speaks a lot to your character as a person because, if you were like shady, and like doing, I'll use shady again to be redundant, doing shady things to the people, you wouldn't get the love that you're getting. So that's a really good
Oh,
thing. Yeah, that says a lot about your character.
thank you. Yeah, karma's real,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I support if anybody has something they're passionate about, I'm going to support them wholeheartedly. Even whether or not they're the best at it, it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. If you're doing something that you love and you're working hard at it and you're growing and improving within that, there's nothing to hate on, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. And, you know, um, you can't become the best until you become the best. That you have to go through that whole process. So even the best
Oh,
today, I
yeah.
remember. I'll speak about Jay-Z. I remember when I first discovered Jay-Z. Jay-Z sucked, in my opinion. And I don't feel bad saying that because when I first got into him, it was on a tape. And I was like, what is this? He had like one song that I even kind of sort of liked. And it was like Dead
Mhm,
Presidents or something like that. But long,
mhm.
long, long time ago. And I was like, man, this dude is horrible. Like, this is trash. And then of
Yeah.
course, Tupac came out. And Tupac was laying into the East Coast dudes. But, man, he was giving them a
Yeah.
hard time. So, but now, look at where we at. He's one of the greatest. One of
Yeah.
the greatest to ever do it. So
Yeah.
you have to go through that process. So I rock with that because you're not just jumping on who's hot, like who's considered to be the best today. You know what I'm saying? You're supporting
Mhm.
everybody. It's like, yo, we in this together. We all trying to get somewhere.
Yeah.
There's enough food on the table for everybody to eat. Let's go do this thing. So that's what's up, man. And look, same thing. I can truly speak to your level of wanting to support people. When I hit you up and was like, yo, do the podcast, you didn't even ask me what it was about. You didn't ask no questions. You was like, hell
I was
yeah.
like, okay. Yeah. I mean, if I see somebody working and doing dope stuff, doesn't matter what it is. Like,
Mhm.
let's just. I love collabing. I love collabing with other artists, and like you had mentioned, just to reiterate, like I don't hop on the coolest stuff, and I don't know why that is. I think I just like things to happen organically. So even when someone's like, "Yo, there's this dope artist that just came out. They're number one on I won't listen to them only because of the hype. I won't listen to them because I don't want to be biased. I will wait till they are no longer being talked about, and I'm like, okay, let me give it a try. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And yeah, but I'm more of like an indie artist too. Like so
mm,
I'm very like in on the more underground
mhm.
scene of things, the more indie scene. And even if I'm thinking 10 years from now, I would be totally fine if I wasn't number one on the charts. I'm okay with that. As long as people are receptive to my music and they can listen to it when they're feeling whatever way, like that's what I'm here for, you know?
Yeah, that's dope. And see, that's the best thing about it. You're not conforming to meet anybody else's expectations. You're putting out
Mhm.
what you feel, what you love, and if they rock with it, they rock with it. And if they don't, they don't.
Exactly.
But they have the option, and you're not trying to, like you said, you're not chasing what's supposed to be hot right now. You're not jumping from here, doing this trend and jumping back over here doing this trend. You got your style, and you've kept your style, and you just continue to
For
perfect
a
your
long
style.
time.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you listen to the music from 2011, it's
Mhm.
just bad versions of the same things that I'm doing now.
Man.
Like nothing, very mellow, still hip hop,
Mhm.
rapping. My bars weren't that great, but my melodies might even be similar. Like it's just better, literally better versions of the old stuff. So I've always kind of kept this style, I guess.
Mhm.
However, I am uh I try to venture out just a little bit to see what I'm capable of.
Mhm.
Not necessarily doing what anybody else is doing, but maybe doing something a little bit different than what I'm used to out of my comfort zone, just to
Okay.
kind of like
Testing your range a little
play
bit.
around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, can I do that? No? Okay, now I'm really over here. So yeah, I like to experiment. There's nothing wrong with that. But for the most part, I think I'm known for like the chill,
Mhm.
vibey, laid back style.
That's what's up. Well, you got anything planned? What I forgot what you said your partner's name was. I don't want to mess it up. I refer to him as Bay.
Truly deaf.
What is it?
He's vague,
Yeah,
but truly deaf.
truly dead.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Like.
Yes, and he's got some dope stuff he's working on. We're both working on projects right now.
Mhm.
So stay tuned. We actually before winning, we okay, oh, so him and I have a song together on my last project.
Mhm.
Um and we're gonna drop a couple singles here, I believe within the next week or so.
Oh, we got the tea.
So
We got the tea.
yeah, so a new song coming up like within the next 7 days or so will be. So yeah, we're working on individual projects, but we do a lot of music together as
Hmm.
well.
Very nice. Well, look at that. Y'all heard it here first. We got an exclusive. We got some new music that's about to
Mhm.
hit the scene. Be on the lookout for it. Well, I
Oh,
totally appreciate you again coming on, agreeing to do the show, giving us, some insight on what it's like in the life. Going from the track to the track. I like
mhm.
that. You know what?
That.
I'm gonna go ahead and release that the copyright info so you can utilize that on a future song. you know,
No, that's hard. I like that a lot.
nice, nice, nice. Well, one more time, let everybody know where they can contact you, where they can get in touch with you, where they can see your stuff at. I'm definitely looking forward to getting you back on again. Next time we can do it with you and Bay. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about y'all collab stuff.
That'd be so
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, that'll be what's up. Like I wanna vibe with him, and you know what I'm saying? Because I'll be honest with you. Of course, I follow you on social media and everything, and just to see the way, how you post about him, and to see you guys doing your things together, y'all look really good. Like I can tell you're in a really
Thank
good
you.
space. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always nice when you can be with somebody who also shares the same passion because there's a lot of things that I may not know about the field that I'm in, and he's so smart. So it's like where I lack, he fills in and vice versa. So it's perfect. But yeah, we'll definitely have to have him on one of these shows.
That's what's up. But one more time, let everybody know where they can follow you, where they
Oh,
can reach out to you, where they can contact you, everything. Plug yourself, girl. Plug yourself.
yes. Okay. So all streaming platforms. My name is Aubrey West. That's Aubrey space West. Uh, Instagram is Aubwest, AUBWEST. Yeah, Spotify, Apple Music, all the things you could stream or type in. YouTube, I'm there. So go check that out.
That's what's up. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in to another episode of Word to Be Heard podcast. Look forward to Aubrey. Just like, regardless of whether she blowing out, I say she gonna blow, but that's just me being biased. But be on the lookout for it because she got some hot stuff tuning in. Well, until the next time, thank everybody.